All right, what are the two wildcards characters that you can have? They are the hash character and the plus character. So they are very different, although they are both used as wildcard. So let me go through the first one, the hash character. This hash character is a super wildcard. All right, I use the super. Why? Because it allows multiple level. Okay, multiple level. Whereas for the plus character, this is for single level. Okay, I'll give example so that you can better understand what they mean. So, for example, here, okay, I highlighted this particular topic called house. House is our first layer. With the slash, we put in the super wildcard, which is the hash character. So what does the hash means? The hash means multiple level, right? Which means it allow wildcard access from that level onwards, all right, from that level onwards. Therefore, if you follow my mouse cursor, the first level, which is house, all right, okay, I think I should get my pen out to help you. Okay, give me a second, I get my pen so that I can scribble so that you can have better understanding. So let me box up again. So this is our original topic that we are trying to subscribe, house slash hex. So first of all, I put an asterisk. The first level, which is house. All right, house is our keywords, and it must be the same for those topics that you are accessing to. Therefore, I put a small tick. So we have all this house, which is the first level. The second level, I put a number 2 here. The second level, we use the wildcard, or in this case, the super wildcard. So irregardless whether it's room 1, garage, or main door, because we use the wildcard at that particular level, all these are valid, and we are subscribing to that. And since we use the hash character, it means that multiple level. So the third level, like here, main light, the second topic, the third level is alarm and main light. All right. So over here, all this will come under what we have subscribed because of the use of the super wildcard, which is multi-level wildcard. So far, so good. All right. Of course, whether all these topics are exhaustive, no, because we don't know how many different topics are there within the broker, as long as it meets the requirement of how we have described our topic, which is house slash hash. Okay, let me get my laser pointer. So depending on what is there available within the broker, as long as it meets the requirement of what we have specified over here in the highlighted text, house slash hash, it would be acceptable. Okay. So I have a question asking whether the wildcard is similar to the classes in Python. I wouldn't want to say that it is yes or no because I am not well versed in Python coding. All right. So I don't want to make you confused. But coming back to MQTT, what I need you to pay attention to would be in terms of the hash and plus character, they have this particular meaning. Okay. Okay. So I will close the chat box. Now I want to talk about the single level wildcard, right? The single level wildcard. So let me highlight here. Oops, so sorry. So we are going to this part. Okay, I want to draw your attention. Right, the first level is house. Right, the second level is our wildcard, and the third level is mainline. So you can see that the wildcard is only applicable at the second level. Right, what does that mean? It means that our level 1 and level 3 must be house and mainline respectively. So let us take a look. Okay, so this is the first level. All these three are house, so this is correct. And the third level are mainline, so these are correct. Therefore, whether it's room 1, room 2, or garage, it fits the wildcard condition. So all the trees are valid. Okay, but it doesn't cover the last two at the bottom of the slide. Why is this so? Because although the first level house is valid, the second level we have the wildcard, so it doesn't really matter whether it is room 1 or room 2. So level 2 is okay because we have the single level wildcard. But the third level sidelight, this is not okay because our third level has to be main light. All right. Therefore, this this bit of the use of the wildcard really requires you some time to digest, to understand multi-level wildcard usage and single level wildcard usage. All right. And again, to the question posed over the group chat asking me about whether this wildcard is equivalent to Python coding. All right. I don't want to comment because I'm not sure with regards to how these characters are used in Python. Therefore, I would strongly encourage you, right, to take note and don't get yourself confused. Make sure that, oops, so sorry. Let me get my pen out again. Make sure that you are or get yourself accustomed to this definition over here. All right, the use of the two wildcard, the single level and the multi-level wildcard. Okay, let me carry on. So what we have discussed earlier, is actually on subscribing. You can use wildcard for subscribing to topics because you can then set a blanket application to multiple levels and so on. But when it comes to publishing, all right, when we come to publishing, it is important to note that you shouldn't be using wildcard, right? And therefore, when you publish, you must specify an individual topic. And as the text highlighted in bold, wildcard is prohibited when you publish. Okay, therefore, it is important that you distinguish the key difference between subscribing and publish pertaining to the use of wildcard. So wildcard can only be used for subscribe functions. And if you need to really send the same data to the different topic, all right, and in this case, if you are going to send the same data to do different topics, you must publish twice, one for each topic. Next, when will topics be created? This is more of the role of the broker. The broker is actually keeping track of what is going on within the MQTT environment. Therefore, the broker will then keep track upon when someone subscribe to a topic or when someone publish a message to the topic. So this is where a new topic has been created. The broker will be able to know because this is event driven. Whichever client comes by to subscribe or come by to publish a new topic. When would the topics be removed? Remember the alive message that I talked about. Every client will be sending periodic information to the broker, telling the broker that they are still in that connection. So when the last client, right here, take note, the last client subscribing to that broker disconnect, then the session, the topics will be removed if it is a clean session, right? Remember we talked about clean session earlier on, meaning to say that the broker will not keep track of who has joined before. So whenever the client is disconnected, the client information will be removed, and the last client subscribing to a particular topic will remove when there's no more client in connection to that particular topics. So when it comes to publishing rules, all right, there's no restriction of topic, which means you can create your own topic for generic MQTT broker. However, for ThinkSpeed, then you have to follow the guideline, which we have discussed in the lab tutorials. And this is something that you need to understand, so I prefer to use the picture here. This second point is trying to say that the publisher will not be sending data directly to the subscriber. All right, so there's no direct connection. It must go through the broker. Okay, and this part I would like you to pay extra attention because very often, especially with our past activities, you have learned about client-server relationship. Here we have a third party right at the center, and this is the job of the broker to manage MQTT messages. So a client can only publish messages to a single topic, all right, but it cannot publish to a group of topics which we have talked about, cannot use the wildcard. Okay, message can be received by a group of clients, like over here. we have a few subscriber, right? A few subscriber. If these two subscribers subscribe to the same topic, then the message can go to these two. Okay. Okay, something that I have not put in my slides is that there could be other client. Let me just draw. Right. There can be another client. There can be another client publishing. All right, publish to the broker. So let me put this as P1. Right, P1 can be a new publisher publishing to the broker of the same topic. All right, of the same topic. And in this case, you can see that we have two publisher, two pub, and two sub. So assume, all right, assume that they share the same topic. So this is the assumption I'm making, that they are using the same topic. From this drawing, what I want to share with you is that there can be multiple clients publishing to the same topic, and there can be multiple subscriber subscribing to the same topic, right? So this is the many to many connection that that you will be going through in one of the lectorial questions, right? I'm trying to explain this many to many here so that you can appreciate that within a MQTT environment, what matters is really the topics, right? What matters is really the topics. As long as they, whichever client, right, subscribe to that topic name, either to publish or to subscribe, they are all valid. Okay, so the important thing is the topics. Okay, with this is my last slide pertaining to MQTT. And let's sum up. Okay, where's my laser pointer? Last week, we have talked about the internet development. I hope that you can see how internet has evolved from a simple idea of having a robust network, becoming today one of the largest or the most intensive and most elaborated interconnection that we can have today, empowering a lot of applications, right? We have seen from the use of digitalization of document all the way to Internet of Things. We also talk about how things can be smart, right? Because of the application that is involved in. We have looked at IoT at layer structures. And finally, towards the end of this deck of slides, we talk about MQTT. So I know that the activities provided, right, is rather short. Last week, you get to make use of MQTT to talk to ThinkSpeak Broker. You have tried to make use of mobile apps to set up your dashboard so that you can subscribe, you can publish MQTT topics and so on. So I hope that with summing up of these lecture notes together with the activity last week, you can see how MQTT can rapidly help in your deployment, and especially coming out with all the different linkages to share data and also to help you develop this kind of remote monitoring for your sensors. Okay. With this marks the end of lecture notes.